Jackie, you mentioned the long run by Lorenzo Lingard. I think that the running back situation is pretty fascinating because you've got experience coming back. Then you got the DeMarcus Bowman coming in from Clemson as a 5-star. And anytime you say 5-star, college football fans go crazy and figure out just roll the red carpet out and let this guy start and start giving him the football, regardless of what else we see. He's a 5-star. And then Lorenzo Lingard certainly was a highly sought after high school football recruit coming out of coming onto campus first at Miami. So the running back situation is pretty intriguing.
No, for sure. And Lingard is actually a former 5-star as well. So you've got Lingard and Bowman, who honestly I would be very shocked if they don't feature quite prevalently in the next season. And Bowman did not participate in the scrimmage or the practice prior due to an injury. We aren't quite sure what exact the injury is, but we were told by one person that it could be more precautionary when it comes to the scrimmage. We're still kind of digging to see exactly what is going on there. But yes, Lorenzo Lingard and Bowman, those are two very intriguing prospects, two very, very talented running backs. And then you consider they already had a lot of returning guys on that running back room with Damian Pierce coming back, Naquan Wright coming back, and Malik Davis coming back. So I could really see them moving Malik Davis to being a slot guy. Last year there were a couple of times where Malik Davis led the way on as far as a receiver. So I would be shocked if Malik Davis doesn't move permanently into that slot. And honestly, Naquan Wright could even play a little bit more on the slot. So I think we will probably see kind of a change in some of those roles. Kind of like a Michael Pirine, who, although was a running back, would often show his versatility and be a very good pass catcher for them 2 years ago. I could see, Malik Davis and Naquan Wright kind of putting in those roles as well, especially when you have DeMarcus Bowman and Lorenzo Lingard. So that is the reason why whenever someone asks me what unit has to be on top of their game for this season to be successful, I always point to the O-line, because there's so many pieces on this offense that's going to be reliant in those trenches. And obviously in the SEC, the battle was won in the trenches. But when you had a quarterback like Kyle Trask, who was able to swing the ball pretty well outside of the pocket, you can kind of hide some of those things. And honestly, the O-line was pretty good at pass protection. So now you're thinking, with all these guys who are known to be very good weapons with their legs, including Emory Jones, who is more of a running quarterback, although he does throw a very good deep ball, and that's something that Dan Mullen has said. He's got a very strong arm. Just needs to work on his accuracy. The O-line needs to be on top of their game. And then you're also going to have to ask those tight ends to block. That's one of the things that I've mentioned quite frequently is Kyle Pitts was an amazing tight end, and he had improved his blocking abilities where it was one of those where he won't cost you anything. He's not as effective blocker as you want, but he's going to do his job, and he's going to, he's going to get you enough time. But Kamora Gamble and Keon Zipper need to improve that side of their game. A few years ago, they had a guy called Deontay Lewis who wasn't known to be a pass catcher, but man, he had some great blocks that led to some incredible touchdowns and important touchdowns, including in the game against Michigan in the bowl game, which kind of sealed the game in my opinion. So when you look at a piece like that and a running back like Jordan Carlton, for instance, during the same year, those guys were excellent blockers. They helped the O-line when the O-line might not have been the best O-line in the SEC. Now you are reliant on the O-line, trying to figure out the chemistry between the guys, figuring out what the best lineup it is, considering we had issues on the right side. But you also need those tight ends to block very well. So there's going to be a lot of questions for Mullen this year if that running game doesn't succeed as much, because you have so much talent on the running back room that you need to hope that your O-line, your tight ends, everyone's on the page as far as the running game.
Yeah, you hit on something that's probably one of the more underrated aspects of the game, and that's wide receivers blocking in the run game. And by extension, the tight ends now that are so heavily relied on playing in space and getting downfield. And of course, we look at the numbers and the catches, but what doesn't get accounted for is their ability to contribute and be true traditional tight ends and help out in the running game. Maybe only second to the ability of running backs to stay in the pocket and pass protect for the quarterback. That is, of course, vital from the coach's perspective that we don't necessarily always take into consideration, again, because there's no stat attached to it. But running backs, sometimes young running backs, don't make it out on the field, not because they can't run and catch, because they can't pass protect.
Correct.
And definitely your point about Malik Davis out of the backfield with 31 catches, and what stands out is 12 yards per catch is a huge number for a running back. He was getting downfield on a lot of wheel routes and so forth. And of course, we got Damian Pierce coming back as the leading rusher, 503 yards, 4.7 per carry, and 4 touchdowns. Not going to relinquish carries easily to the 2 5-stars. Jackie Franchuli, allgators.com on S side. Jackie, we always appreciate you stopping by and giving us the breakdown on the Gators. And you're welcome back anytime.